Welcome to the show. The H-bomb in the lab, cook and feel on screen. Zesty vibes loud, turn cringe to a meme. All your filters off, it's a wild reveal. One edit from me and the fiction gets real. Play that tape.
Or maybe I could do that. Number two, I said this very honestly, and this involves you guys, okay? I said, I'll be honest with you, right now, I posted up pictures of the wedding yesterday, and I can already see the 50-50 split of the way that people have reacted. You got the 50% of the people who like what I do and love me and trust in me and believe that even though I need all this help with taxes, that I did not come out here and spend my own money and spend money on this trip. And then you got the other half of the people who just hate my guts and literally now are saying so many nasty things about Kat and I on our wedding day. And this is what I live with. This is the dichotomy that I live with in my life, that I have staunch supporters and people who just hate my guts. And I said, now, can you imagine? Let's say even in a year's time, can you imagine if I tried to go on a honeymoon when I'm probably still in a financial position where I need help on streams, people to be supportive or whatever with their contributions and all of that. And all of a sudden, oh, by the way, even though you guys, you helped me out a lot with everything going on financially, oh, I'm going to go on a vacation now, all expenses paid. Huh? This doesn't jive. And I honestly, I wouldn't feel in good faith. I wouldn't feel okay with going on a vacation with Kat, even if it was paid for, with the situation back home. Here's the thing. When I went to visit Connecticut to see my parents, this is an important trip. Number one, we don't know what's going to happen with their health. At any moment, one of them could go, and I'll never see them again. So this is a very important trip to spend time with them. Number two, this is our wedding. This is an opportunity for Kat and I to get married in a situation that's better than what we would have done here for ourselves. And to have a little bit of a special day where we can remember this for the rest of our lives. And doing it there made my parents so happy that they were there for my wedding. Are you kidding? Like I said, my mom's been waiting for me to get married her whole life. And now finally, thank God, before she passes away, whenever that may be, knock on wood, hopefully not soon, I was there to be married and she saw it in person. Okay? She was so ecstatically happy. So I told her straight up front, I said, not possible. Honeymoon can't, you could promise us this, and I probably will never be able to take it, okay? But you know my financial situation. And basically I told her about everything that's been going on here over the last few weeks, how I'd been doing multiple marathon streams, how much money I had raised, and based off of what my tax guy had told me, here is what's left. And then, by the way, the tax guy is going to bill me this much for doing my taxes. He's going to bill me this much to try to get me on the payment plan. I basically gave her all the financials of everything. All right? And, sitting there having this honest conversation, my mom said, well, here's the deal. She's like, I need you to commit to a fact that you're going to do some life changes in the short term and the long term. It's because you can't keep going like this. She looked at me, she's like, you're happy, but I can tell that you're running yourself ragged. I can tell that you are working yourself to the bone, Kat as well. And, every time I call you or every time we talk on the weekend, you tell me about how the whole week is work. You never tell me that you get to spend time with Kat, because you don't, right? And this is not the life that you're going to be able to live for your whole life. She's like, what are you going to do, when you're 50, 60 years old, and you think people are going to still want to tune into your stream all day long? I mean, yeah, maybe I could still do like a part-time stream, but no, who's going to want to sit watching a 60-year-old guy play video games all day, right? In addition to that, you're killing yourself financially because you have all these situations going on with the finances behind the scenes of everything. You're killing yourself to even make ends meet and pay your bills. How are you going to you can't. She's like, you work yourself to your limits. You can't keep going the way you're going. If you keep doing it, you're going to have health problems. She goes, look at us. Look at your father and me. We are at 60 years old and are having these health problems where we could go in any day. It's like, but you are in your 30s and you're telling us the stress and shit you're putting up with. And she was said to me, she says, you don't have to justify yourself to anyone. She says, understand that. You choose to do it. She said, the work you're in, being a public persona, you choose to force yourself to justify to thousands of people. She says, you should have been able to come out here to Connecticut. have a nice week with your wife, get married, and go home and not have to do a special event when you go home to explain the situation and people, all they're scamming these assholes being shitheads on top of you. She's like, none of that should happen. That's fucked up. That's a messed up life to have. And, and you're in a situation where you have to do, why? Who are these kids who are making fun of you on the internet that now they can actually concretely negatively affect your business? What kind of a life is this that you live? I said, your mom, you're right. This is a situation when I started to get into it, 10 years ago, I never thought that this is where I would be. It was a hobby. It was a joke. I didn't know I would lose my office job. I didn't know that I would have to try to flip YouTube into a living and then YouTube would fall through a million times and all that. So essentially we had this very long and important conversation. Okay. Where it ended up was a few things. The first is I realized, guys, I can't do this forever. I know that. And by the way, don't worry. It doesn't mean I'm quitting doing this anytime soon. I love it. But I know realistically, how long can I do this? I can't do this forever. She's at a point. What could I do? Maybe another 10 years? Top 15 tops? Would people care when I'm 50 years old playing fucking video games? You know what I mean? And not say that I couldn't try to diversify and do other things with my streaming. But I certainly don't think that it's going to be something people are going to want to tune into when I'm an older dude. It's a younger generation. They're not going to want to see me doing that stuff when I'm older. So in reality, what she's basically saying is that I need to not quit what I do, but I do in the long term need to figure out what else am I going to do. And she's right. I agree with her after thinking about it. Being completely honest with everyone, what I need to kind of do is get myself to a financial situation where I don't have to work all day on stream. Maybe where I can do all right, my finances are in a situation where now I don't owe so much that I have to literally make a ridiculous amount of money to pay the minimum payments on everything. And so that way I can stream less and I can maybe go get a job. That's an entry-level job that pays less than what I make streaming, but it won't matter because I won't owe all this debt to everyone and I won't need to make that much money anymore. You see what I mean? But that's not a short-term thing. There's no overnight fix tip. You owe less money to the world. You see what I mean? So this is something that's going to come in time where maybe, again, maybe within 10 years, I can fix things financially behind the scenes where I'm not bleeding every month financially. And I can stream less and I can go get another job and balance my life with that. And not to say again, I don't want to quit doing this. I will do this as long as it's within my power, guys. I will stream and share my daily gameplay and just fun experiences, interactions with you guys as long as I can, as long as people care. But nothing's forever. Nothing lasts forever. And my mom's right. She's like, you're going to be our age. How are you going to be fucking doing this at 60? Look at us. We could barely move. And you're going to be doing this at 60. You're out of your mind. And she's right. So basically, I think that's what it's going to be is in the next 10 years or so, once I finally get myself in a situation where financially it's not so bad, I'm going to look to get another job of some sort. And it's going to be work because I've been out of the job market for 10 years almost. And it's going to be probably another 10 years, you know what I mean, before I can make those changes, but I'm going to have to. Okay. The other thing is, and my mom's absolutely right, says you just can't keep doing what you're doing anymore. Like if you literally cannot pay your bills, something's got to give. So as afraid as I am of if I don't pay a certain thing, I'll ruin my credit or whatever, right? At this point, there's no alternative. You know what I mean? Like basically Kat and I sat down this week and talked a lot. And we were like, if I can't pay these taxes and we have to sell the house, what happens? Well, number one, we have to get another place and my credit's not good. It's not. My credit's bad because I have so much outstanding debt. I doubt I would even qualify for a background check or whatever to get an apartment, or I definitely can't buy another house. No one's going to finance a mortgage for me. So it would have to be renting. And I don't even know if I would pass the renter's pack because my credit sucks. Okay? Feasibly, how would I move? I don't have money for it. I don't have money to move my stuff. I don't have time. I have to work my ass off to make minimum payments on everything. How am I going to have time to move? That's a lot of work. Finding a real estate agent, renovating the house so it's ready for sale, selling all the shit in the house. I have no time to do any of it. Kat's working too. We don't have time. Okay? So the reality of it is this. The reality of it is this. Um, I have to make concrete changes that will ruin my credit in order to save the situation. I cannot leave this house, period. This house is where I work. This house is where the business is that makes me money. And this is the primary concern is keeping this house, because if I lose this house, okay, then that means that I can't work. Okay, I might not be able to get the internet I need to stream every day. I might not be able to do the work that I do in an office setting that's this quality. Okay, so it's just simple. As of now, my primary focus is this house and paying this mortgage and keeping the electricity and all that on. And whether that means that my credit gets permanently destroyed because I'm not paying the mortgage in Connecticut, or I'm not paying credit cards or whatever it may be, so be it, because this is the important thing. And eventually what's going to happen, depending on what happens, how much I can afford and the like, is probably eventually that condo that I have in Connecticut, that's a money pit that I can't get rid of and I can't rent and I can't sell, they're going to get foreclosed. They're going to foreclose on it and take it out of my name. And that's going to be a tremendous financial burden off of me. It's going to be at the expense of my credit. But at this point, I don't see another way out. The other thing with the credit cards is I know that with certain credit card companies, you can call and negotiate and say, listen, I'm in a bad financial position right now. I'm just in dire straits. I have a ridiculous amount of back taxes I owe the federal government and I can't pay them. So obviously I can't pay you anymore, because if I don't pay the back taxes, they're just going to start taking my money. You're going to get nothing. So what I need to do is negotiate with these credit card companies and say, I can pay half of what you actually want, but you have to lower my interest rates to make that affordable, so that the card doesn't just keep racking up and never get paid down. So basically, I have to do all this stuff. I have to abandon a property in Connecticut. I have to negotiate with credit card companies, and this is going to permanently fuck my credit up. Like, I know, because I used to work for a finance company, Wells Fargo, where we would try to give mortgages and refinances. And if you had foreclosure on someone's credit report, you can't even talk to them for like 10 years. After 10 years, we will consider talking to you again. You got foreclosure, can't talk to you. Okay? And I don't know if I negotiate with credit card companies, I don't know if they're going to report that on my credit report as, oh, he's not paying, or, you know what I mean? Like, oh, he's defaulting on the minimum payments or whatever. Because they might say on paper, okay, we won't harass you if you pay this much. That doesn't mean they're not going to report that to the credit agency as he's not paying the minimum expected of him. Okay? So at this point, that's really what I have to do. And I committed to my mother that I'm doing it. I said, I will commit to you, Mom, that I'm going to do this, because you're right. There's no way to pay everything anymore. And, I now I have a wife. We have a life together. You know what I mean? And we have to make these changes, because we can't keep going this way until something goes wrong. I was so afraid this year of losing my house, because I thought I'm gonna have to sell my house to pay my taxes. I realized I can't sell my house. If I sell my house, I can't work. This is the place I have to keep. Everything else goes to shit. This is the place I have to fucking keep. Okay? So after this this is hours. This conversation was hours. All right? After this long conversation with my parents, finally, basically my mom said, well, since you can't go on the honeymoon, how much do you need to get on this payment plan for these taxes and basically not get completely screwed over? I told her. She gave me the money. So essentially, the reason that right now I'm going to be able to get on a payment plan is because you guys supported the shit out of me for the past month with these marathons, combined with the money that my mom was able to afford. Now, here's the thing. This money came with condition. She says, your dad and I are old. We can't work anymore. We got to retire. This is it. We can't do anything else. We can't help you if this happens again. So you have to commit to doing what you're saying you're going to do. Because if you don't, we have nothing else. This is it. This is the end of it. This is and it'll end all be all. So the situation is, she gave me enough money to qualify for the payment plan. Now, she didn't pay the taxes. Fuck no. She doesn't have enough money to pay $17,000 in back taxes. She gave me enough money that, combined with what she gave me, combined with what you guys gave me, all right, is enough to now pay the government, and my tax attorney will work with the government to qualify for the payment plan. All right. So essentially, I am still going to have to try to make a lot of money because I'm going to have an additional new payment coming out of nowhere now. I don't even know what it's going to be. I was assuming probably $500 to $1,000 a month, but it depends on what the terms they give me for this payment plan. And what I'm going to have to do is, like I said, number one, dump the condo in Connecticut. Just don't pay it anymore till they foreclose. That's money in my pocket. And number two, me negotiations with all my credit card companies to pay like half. Because if I could pay half of what I'm paying now, that's a lot of money in my pocket. And between those two, I should be making enough to not only pay all my bills that I absolutely need to pay to keep the business going and keep this house, but also enough to pay my taxes. All right? That's the deal, everybody. That's what's going on. So the good news is, this house is not at risk right now anymore because of the changes that I'm going to make and the fact that both you guys and my mom helped me out. We're out of the water for the short term. Long term, who fucking knows what's going to happen? Because it seems like every time I get to this situation and something's going right, something creeps the fuck up out of the under the rug, or crawls out of the toilet, or shoots out of a monkey's ass at me and hits me. I mean, so many things have happened over the years. It's bullshit, and it's terrible, the stuff that's happened. But you know, it's very simple. It has to happen. You know what I mean? It has to happen. So that's what I'm doing. And that has to start this week. You know, as early as this week, I'm going to contact my mortgage company for that condo in Connecticut and tell them that's it. You know, 2 years ago, I tried to short sell my condo in Connecticut and they denied me. Say, it's your fault. I gave you a chance. 2 years ago, I told you I was serious. I didn't have money for this stuff. You denied me, and now here we are 2 years later, and I owe $17,000 in back taxes that I didn't pay. So you're fucked. You're not getting any more money from me. So you could either just foreclose now and get the property immediately so you could sell it again and make money, or you could take 2 years and waste your time, but either way, I'm not paying you any more money. So I got to do that this week at some point. And, you know, my mom took a lot of sense into me. I agree with her. It's just something that eventually, inevitably, what I'm hoping to happen here is let's say within 10 years, it has to be a 10-year transition. My credit gets ruined, but because I'm not paying the crazy credit card payments anymore. I'm not paying for this black hole condo in Connecticut. That money goes towards taxes and pays my basic bills. And now things finally start to go down to the point where, let's say in 10 years, now I don't have to do full-time streaming anymore. And I could go look for a job and I could balance that with the streaming until eventually we phase out and I'm in a position where I'm healthy and I'm not overworking myself. That's the plan. I don't know how it's going to go. You know, I'm sure there's going to be more ups and downs along the way, but that's the plan. This trip to Connecticut was literally, in more ways than just the marriage, was a life-changing experience for me.